this hospital truly is.
Absolutely. The Visteins are with me. Allison's with me, with Aiden and Caleb. And Allison, I just want to have you kind of tell us what brought you in the path of Akron Children's Hospital, Mahoning Valley.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story. My heart is here in the valley with Akron Children's for a very special reason. My twin boys, Aiden and Alex, were born at 31 weeks. They were 9 weeks premature. And Alex passed away at 6 days old from necrotizing enterocolitis. And we know that Akron Children's did everything they could to save our baby. But I do have this 6-year-old miracle here next to me, his twin brother Aiden, who went on to spend 6 weeks here in the NICU. He had not many complications actually for being 31 weeks. He was breathing on his own at room air, so he was really the exception to the preemie rule. He did, however, have a small grade brain bleed, heart murmur. They were concerned about eyes and things like that, so once he was discharged, we utilized Akron Children's specialists a lot. We saw Dr. Amanda Capelli here for his heart to make sure everything was good. We used the eye specialist here to make sure his eyes were good from being born premature. In addition, when he was 8 months old, he still wasn't sitting up properly, so we used Akron Children's Physical Therapy Department, and they worked with him to help him learn to sit up on his own. So he was a little behind on some things, but thanks to all the services they offer right here in the Mahoning Valley, we didn't have to travel to Akron. We came right here to Boardman from Springfield where we live, and it was nice and convenient. And both my boys have been regulars at the emergency room with two very active boys. You get the bumps, the bruises, the 2 a.m. ear infections. He decided to swallow a penny last year, so those sort of things.
How did that taste?
How'd the penny taste? How'd it taste?
Bad.
And, you know, it's just so nice to know that we have a hospital right here in the valley that treats children and specializes in children. You know, took him through an x-ray to make sure that Penny was moving, wasn't going to get stuck anywhere. And those are those little things that you're so grateful to have a hospital just a few minutes away from home.
So let me just ask you, because you know you kind of said that nothing was wrong, he was okay with his lungs. He did have a brain bleed. You just kind of threw that in as kind of an aside. Can you talk a little bit? I noticed one of the things that you said a couple of times was the word specialist. Obviously, they do have some fantastic specialists here at Akron Children's Hospital, Mahoning Valley, and right here in the valley, which means, as you said, you didn't have to travel. You were right here. But can you talk a little bit about, besides the fact that you know you have all these great services, talk a little bit about the hospital and how they supported you as parents, because obviously, you know, it's not just that your kids are going through this, it's that you're watching them go through this as a parent. Talk a little bit about that.
During our 6-week stay here in the NICU, after our son Alex passed away, one of the biggest things that I will tell you about this hospital is that the nurses and doctors became our family. Dr. Mahoning, Dr. Rossi, and every nurse that touched Aiden in the time that he was here. You know, we were excited that he was daily getting better and stronger, but we were also grieving parents. So finding the right balance of how do you deal with parents that are going through such a confusing time in their life. They're grateful for the child they have, but we realize they're going through the grief. The nurses and doctors were like our family. There were hugs when we needed hugs. There were shoulders to cry on when we needed a shoulder to cry on. There were smiles. There were tears. So we really grew close to a lot of folks. In fact, one of the nurses here is actually Aiden's godmother.
Oh, wow.
Here at the hospital, and it's kind of crazy how it all happened, but she was his godmother the day we had him baptized here, and she was the nurse that put him in the car seat on the day he went home.
That's an amazing story. And you said you had him baptized here at Akron Children's Hospital, Mahoning Valley. Allison, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I mean, it's just one of the amazing stories we've heard today. You mentioned Dr. Rossi. She was out here earlier with us, and in fact was the one when we talked about ABC, when we talked about the kids being in cribs, alone, on their back, and in an empty crib. I just said crib, and from the corner of the room she yelled, empty! Because it has to be an empty crib. She's just one of the amazing doctors that we've talked to today. Thank you so much for